It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a drone? People in Channelside want to know why there was one outside their condo windows. Our Christy Post is getting answers. And it was the ice buckets for ALS, but now something new, why people are taking pies to the face. And speaking of charity, just a few weeks left before I put on my dancing shoes for real in one of Tampa Bay's biggest charity events. It's 4 o'clock and this is showtime. You're watching The Now Tampa Bay. Good afternoon and welcome to The Now. I'm Laura Harris. We're here every day taking the pulse of what's happening right now in Tampa Bay and keeping you on top of what matters outside of Florida as well. First breaking news right here in Tampa. It's all the talk online. The Tampa Bay Times Forum getting a new name. Owner of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Jeff Vinnick, says the forum will now be called Amalie Arena. Amalie Oil has had a huge presence at the Port of Tampa since 1977, one that's a bit of a surprise considering the Tampa Bay Times originally had a naming rights agreement through 2018.
We are transitioning the naming rights of this building from one great locally owned, community-minded organization to another.
And as soon as word started spreading online about the possibility of the name change, many took to social media giving their ideas of what they thought the new name should be. Some of those names not safe for TV. Look at your screen right now. What you're looking at is Topic Pulse. We use this as a tool in our newsroom here at the Now Tampa Bay just to see what stories are trending. And you see there TB Times Forum showing up in the Bay Area a whole lot. All right, an update right now on the red tide responsible for fish kills in the Bay Area, especially in Pinellas County. Friday, FWC researchers were finding the bloom to be 10 to 15 miles off northern Pinellas County's coast. Well, this map posted within the last hour shows the bloom is even closer at 5 miles off northern Pinellas and southern Pasco counties. Well, still, our Ashley Glass is in touch with the Florida Fish and Wildlife this afternoon. And Ashley, they're telling you, despite it being closer, the bloom, it seems not to be that big of a threat.
Right, despite that red tide bloom being closer than ever before, right now 5 miles off the coast of northern Pinellas County, which is right where I'm standing, FWC tells me that bloom is far less concentrated and it's patchier than ever before. They also stress that no red tide has been found right along the shore, but we are finding this. Look at this, dead fish all along Honeymoon Island. I mean, they're just piled up here. The smell for beachgoers as we've been out here. I asked FWC about this and they say, yes, these fish likely died because of that red tide bloom now 5 miles off the coast. They say they can't confirm that because these fish are already dead. They will not be testing and sampling them. They tell me the takeaway tonight, again, this coming from FWC, up to the minute update. Although that red tide bloom now 5 miles off the coast of northern Pinellas County, it's patchy, far less concentrated, and they say the threat is lessening tonight. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Also this afternoon, the body of a missing fisherman has been found. Alvin Lee White of Palmetto was last seen near Jiggs Landing on Ward Lake. His body was found very close to that area. Deputies tell us the 58-year-old didn't make it back home yesterday. A relative reported him missing last night and his body found later today. Well, many of us have been affected by the tragic killing of American journalist Steven Sotloff by ISIS. And here in Florida, it hits closer to home. Sotloff was a student at the University of Central Florida, and tonight, students there are coming together at the Reflection Pond at 9 o'clock for a tribute to him. They have been asked to bring American flags, candles, and photos of him to honor his bravery. My co-host Ann McNamara has more on how the U.S. is handling the repercussions of his death.
The White House confirming that the video showing the beheading of Steven Sotloff is authentic. President Obama finally taking a stand and saying what many Americans have been waiting to hear.
So the bottom line is this. Our objective is clear, and that is to degrade and destroy ISIL.
The president saying a war against ISIL is not likely to involve a military solution. He ordered 350 soldiers into the area, but only to protect Americans, not to fight. The Pentagon saying we need to hit them right where it hurts by defeating ISIL's ideology.
The only way you're going to do that is good governance. Good governance in Iraq. There's a unity government standing up. That's promising. Good governance in Syria, where obviously things are not so well with the Assad regime. But that's the real long-term answer here: political, economic, diplomatic. It's providing a future for young men and for young women so that they don't have to turn to terrorism.
And now that we've seen 2 videos of 2 American journalists beheaded, some are talking about who may be the next victim. British aid worker David Haines, who appeared at the end of the Sotloff video, now threatened with that same fate. British Prime Minister David Cameron meeting today to decide on a response. Now to Ukraine, where a peace deal isn't a peace deal until Vladimir Putin says it is. Overnight, Ukraine announced it had reached a ceasefire agreement with Russia. Russia responded by playing dumb, saying it couldn't agree to anything since it's technically not fighting in Ukraine. Not this again. Came back to Putin announcing a 7-point plan for peace and to lock in the territorial gains that Russian-backed rebels made in the east, requiring the Ukrainian army to pull back and bringing in international observers to enforce the ceasefire. Just to be clear, who's pulling the strings here? Kiev is negotiating with Moscow on this. The rebels appear to be completely out of the loop. Starting today, CVS Pharmacy no longer sells tobacco products, the company pulling them from the shelves nearly a month sooner than was originally planned. So where cigarettes and cigars used to sit on the shelves, now you'll see nicotine gum and other anti-tobacco products. Why the sudden change, you might wonder? Well, CVS saying it's focusing more on customer health, and that meant stopping the sale of tobacco ASAP. Another huge change today that got overlooked because of this headline: CVS Pharmacy actually changed its name to CVS Health. Emphasis, guys, on the health.
All right, thanks, Ann. Well, back here at home this afternoon, an Armwood High School student is in police custody after authorities say he brought a knife and bullets to school, threatening another student with them. The school campus in Sept went on lockdown around 10 o'clock this morning. We're told no one was hurt, and that lockdown was lifted after police finished their search. Right now, a Valrico Elementary School student is recovering after being hit by a car this morning. She was hit crossing the street right in front of her own dad. Deputies say that girl's father let her out of his car and she ran across the front to catch the bus. Well, that's when a passing car hit that 7-year-old's arm. Her dad says she will be fine, just a little shaken up, and he says he feels the same.
She's seen the yellow flashes, so he says proceed with caution. There was no caution proceeded. She should have stopped and just waited for the bus and the kids to get on the bus. There was no caution. Caution was she's supposed to stop.
Well, the driver wasn't cited because the bus stop sign wasn't out. The girl's father says their next stop, a lawyer's office.
Hi, I'm Ava, and I'm 5, and I had cancer.
September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we wanted to share Ava's story with you. Take a look at your screen. Ava lives in Tampa and has been battling kidney cancer since she was 4 years old. You can watch more of her story by visiting our Facebook page. And all of us here at the Now Tampa Bay were really moved by that video. And if you were too, there are 3 ways you can give support right now here in the Bay Area. The Pediatric Cancer Foundation here in Tampa hosts their 4th Briner of Hope dinner at the a la carte pavilion on September 18th. They also host the Cheval 5K and Family Run on the 20th. And on September 27th, I'll be emceeing the Fall Stampede benefiting the Children's Cancer Center of Tampa. That's a 5K run and family fun run starting in Curtis Hickson Park. Well, you've heard of the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS awareness, but now there's one to whip childhood cancer, literally. Now people are taking pies to the face for that cause. People who are called out are asked to donate or get hit in the face with a pie. Of course, as with the Ice Bucket Challenge, a lot of people are donating and posting their videos to raise awareness. On their website, well, the 46/7 Whipping Childhood Cancer Challenge has a list of charities they recommend donating to. We posted that link to our Facebook page. Just search the Now Tampa Bay. All right, on the Buzz list this afternoon, new stars announced in season 19 of ABC's Dancing with the Stars, gearing up for that season. Mean Girls star Jonathan Bennett, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's Alfonso Rivera, Back to the Future actress Leah Thompson, and YouTube star Bethany Mota. They will be joining the 4 who have already been announced, including Olympian Lolo Jones, soap opera star Antonio Sabato Jr., and Janelle Parrish of Pretty Little Liars. And just about a month away from now, I'll be putting on my dancing shoes. Yes, I said dancing. I'm representing ABC Action News in this year's Tampa's Dancing with the Stars. In October, apparently someone here had confidence in my rhythm. See for yourself how it's coming along. We're officially 12 practices in.
1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8.
A lot of the dance is looking great, but then there are parts that clearly need some work for our unconventional take to ballroom dancing with Michael Jackson's Beat It. It's hard work, all for charity, though. This year's Dancing with the Stars event, put on by Hands Across the Bay, benefits 7 nonprofits in the area.
Go, JJ.
And that's why JJ and I need your vote. Every $10 vote brings us one step closer to the Mirrorball Trophy, all while helping people in need in our area. The sold-out event is October 4th, and thank goodness, because we need a little more practice as we dance our way to a better Tampa Bay. I feel so sorry for JJ. To help us win, you can vote right now. Just go to handsacrossthebay.org, find my picture, click vote. Again, all the money raised goes to charity and your donation is tax deductible. All right, coming up at 4:58 on the Now Tampa Bay, retirement. We're all looking forward to it, right? So where should we enjoy the golden years is the next question. You may not need to go far to do that. Then at 4:30, a look at the eyes in the sky after a drone is spotted in Channelside. So how legal is it to just fly your unmanned aircraft next to people's condos? But first, at 18 after the hour, it's the end of an era, the tribute to Derek Jeter. The Now Tampa Bay coming back. Shock and alarm. Right now, Facebook is back online. The social network experienced an outage just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. No word just yet what happened. Since people couldn't get on Facebook, of course, they didn't know what to do. What do I do next?
Oh, no.
They took to Twitter expressing how they unliked the situation. Apparently it's working now. The Now Tampa Bay is right there. Look at that. Time now for your app of the day. And we're actually talking about some apps people mention a lot, but maybe you're too embarrassed to admit that you actually use. Digital producer Jarrett Hill with us right now.
We thought it would be important because we always give you brand new apps or things that we think are really cool, but we never really talk about those apps that you should already know about. So that's what we're going to look at for a little bit today. For people that like to travel or some people that need to make money, I'll explain that in just a moment. Airbnb is a really cool app that has locations in over 37,000 cities around the world. If you're looking to go on vacation, you want to go stay somewhere nice, you can actually stay in someone's already privately owned home. They have beautiful locations all over the world, and even just like basic places, someone just with a regular home, you can go into their home as well and get a room. You can see photos and descriptions and user reviews of each of these places.
And a price right there.
And a price that's right there. They range all over the prices. They can be very expensive to very inexpensive. And these are privately owned, so you can meet the person beforehand, you can see their picture, you can see their profile, get their ratings and reviews from people who've already stayed there. If you're a person with a home that's available and you need some more cash, you can actually sign up for Airbnb and you can have people over at your place.
Very cool. What else do I need?
The other thing you're going to need, Uber. If you have a car and you have some time, you can easily request a ride if you don't have a car. You can hop in someone's car and they will be able to take you wherever you need to go. They have drivers, and the vehicles are right there on the screen when you open it up. It'll tell you how far away they are, how quickly they can get to you, and you don't have to pay them cash. You can pay right there in the app.
Oh, very cool.
And you get an email receipt, and you can also do this with your own car if you want to make some money as well. Lastly, I think it's important to know Lose It. Everyone's looking at losing weight. Everyone wants to be able to have their custom planned diet plan. This will help you with your height, your weight, tell you exactly how many calories you need to be consuming to lose 2 pounds a week to get to your goal at a certain date.
2 pounds a week?
2 pounds a week. That's really great, right? I did it myself. I'm back on it now. We don't have to talk about that. But you can share your goals with your friends and all that kind of stuff. So these are the apps that you want to be looking out for that people already know about.
How much are they?
They're all free for you.
My favorite price of free. Jarrett, thank you so much. I love the free ones. I love them. I know somebody else who probably likes free stuff.
Yeah.
Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips is with us right now over in the Weather Center.
I got a boatload of kids. I need coupons. I heard you say yesterday you're not big on the clipping coupon deal.
I never cut coupons. That's so bad, isn't it?
Save some serious money. By the way, did you say Facebook was out earlier?
It was out.
And I got to get a paper bag. I'm hyperventilating here. I mean, holy cow. We do a lot of updates, and a lot of people have been hyperventilating with all that thunderstorm activity we've seen in the last couple of days. Let's take a look at Titan Doppler radar right now. Still looking at some isolated to scattered showers across the area. And the heaviest today is over in Highlands County. Now this time yesterday, much of Pinellas County was getting hit hard. Very heavy thunderstorms and severe thunderstorm warnings. But right now, all the action over on the east side of our viewing area. Now, where is this headed? Well, it's coming back toward the west. So if we time this out toward DeSoto City, 422, Wauchula, 513, and Mulberry, all areas of Polk County are right around the 6 o'clock hour. So this is more what we're accustomed to this time of the year, which lots of sunshine early on, and then the storms begin to bubble up over on the east side about 3 or 4 o'clock, and then they make it back toward our beaches by about 7 or 8 o'clock. And that's exactly what our Futurecast product shows. Heaviest storms get closer to the beach this evening, and then they pull on out into the Gulf later on tonight. But there are some changes to our weather as we approach the weekend. So if you have weekend plans, stick around. We'll talk about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Laura?
All right, thanks, Dennis. So as we welcome the fall, that means new episodes of your favorite shows. Time through the flashback, though, to the best show endings. My co-host Ann McNamara has that.
Fall is right around the corner, and that means primetime TV is back.
Liz,
and we're going to give you a refresher on how your favorite shows ended this spring. So if you're not caught up, spoiler alert. Love, certainly in the air on those season finales. On The Mindy Project, Mindy and Danny got together. On Nashville, Luke and Raina got engaged. And on Modern Family, funny couple Cam and Mitchell finally tied the knot. Another trend,
Liz,
characters leaving town. Sheldon from Big Bang Theory took off on a bus. Catherine from Hawaii Five-0 moved to Afghanistan to look for a kidnapped child. And Grey's Anatomy's Christina Yang left for Europe. And as we all know, she's not coming back. Then, a couple shows turned into a matter of life or death. On Revenge, we learned that David Clark is alive after all, but he murdered Conrad. Pretty much everyone on Chicago Fire was in a building that blew up, so there's a cliffhanger there. Are they dead? Are they not? We don't know. Booth on Bones is under arrest for killing 3 FBI agents, and scandal ended with Papa Pope orchestrating the death of Jerry Jr. Fitz's grieving made him more electable, and Harrison died. The New York Yankees honoring baseball great Derek Jeter with a patch that players will wear on their uniforms for the rest of the season. But my question is, don't those patches usually memorialize dead people? Let's bring in our producer, Justin Adams. Justin, is Jeter really that great that he's alive, he's still playing, and he gets a patch?
I mean, look, plays like this, he's an amazing, amazing athlete, amazing player, but let's be honest. This isn't about feelings. It's about making money. Look, there are 25 different licenses developing different products with the Jeter logo. For example, New Era, which makes the baseball hats. Look, they have more than 50 products on sale. That's amazing, yeah. You can buy a limited edition Derek Jeter 3-cap box set for $150. Yeah, look, some of Jeter's signed products have gone for $25,000 at the auction block. It's ridiculous. Look, as New Era president told ESPN, they've never seen a player celebrated like this. The uniform patches, they're just the beginning.
And how about this? SpongeBob, Mickey Mouse, and friends, I'm not sure who the friends are, they got into a fist fight in Russia, and I think they won. This video is making the rounds online, and it shows an angry driver out on the road.
Still ahead on the Now Tampa Bay, texting and driving. We all know it's dangerous, but I'm going to show you a picture that's really going to change your life. You won't text and drive ever again. Also coming up on the Now Tampa Bay at 4:36, a Florida boy catches a whopper of a fish and actually does something good with it. But next, the secret to saving you big bucks at the store. I'll give you a little hint. It's in the price tag. We'll show you how to read it next on the Now Tampa Bay. But first, here's your fit tip of the day.
Hi, I'm Melissa Trinidad, fitness consultant with the Now. My quick fit tip of the day is go from bilateral exercises to unilateral exercises. You can take something like a bodyweight squat and turn it into a single leg bodyweight squat. Give it a go and try it out.
Right now, Amalie Arena is now the new name of the Tampa Bay Times Forum. The company it's named after, Amalie Oil, has been at the Port of Tampa since 1977 on about 30 acres. The company has about 250 employees. The Times Forum was supposed to have naming rights through 2018, but according to the paper, their role has now shifted to the exclusive print partner of the Amalie Arena. All the buzz in your entertainment headlines this afternoon. Justin Bieber, again. Our digital producer, Jared Hill, he loves Justin Bieber, right?
Is that true? Is that true?
He reportedly got into an accident with a minivan while he was driving an ATV in Ontario, Canada, a couple days ago. Well, he's on a 2-year probation out of Los Angeles. Authorities in Canada are trying to find out if his latest run-in with the law is a violation. While no one was hurt in the crash, he has been arrested and charged with dangerous driving and assault. CeeLo Green isn't having a very good week either. His new show was just canceled after he made some controversial comments about rape on Twitter. And just the other day, he was sentenced to 3 years probation. On Friday, he pleaded no contest for a felony charge of giving a woman ecstasy back in 2012. All right. Well, the wedding crash of a lifetime. Rapper Snoop Dogg dips in on a downtown Chicago wedding. Photographer who captured the pics of Snoop and the newlywed says they were so nervous they didn't even want to get close to him during the pictures. Snoop even asked for the photog to get a couple shots with his phone. He posted those pictures to Instagram and got 30,000 likes. All right, time to save you some major cash at some of your favorite stores. Get this, the secret, all in the price tag. That's according to shopping guru behind the site Rather Be Shopping. Check this out. Here's what we're learning. At Target, prices ending in 0.98, 0.88, so like 98 cent, 88 cent, 4 cents, and 24 cents are clearance prices. And the tiny number in the upper right-hand corner shows you how much you're really saving off of that original price. Up next, Costco. Items ending in 99 cents are full price. Ending in 97 cents, they're marked down. And the asterisk in the upper right-hand corner, that's the jackpot. It's the clearance. To Home Depot, the yellow tag means it's a clearance product. Prices ending in 6 cents means 6 weeks until the next markdown. 3 cents, 3 weeks until the next markdown. Did you get all that? If you didn't, of course, we posted it on our Facebook page. You can find us at The Now, Tampa Bay. All right, coming up at 4:42, have you ever seen that kid on the floor screaming in the grocery store? And you just look at them and you say, that's not going to happen. That's not. Hey, one dad says he's got the solution to all of that. You'll never have a kitty tantrum ever again. That's coming up at 4:42. Also at 4:30, like I said before, it's not a bird, it's a plane. It's a drone. And apparently there was one in the Channelside area. People want to know, is it legal? Can they just peek in on my home? We've got those details coming up. The Now Tampa Bay, back in 3 minutes. Welcome back to the Now Tampa Bay, just about 4:30, and I'm Laura Harris, keeping an eye on what's trending in Tampa and beyond. And coming up in this half hour of the Now, imagine looking out the window of your apartment high-rise and seeing a drone equipped with a camera flying right by your window. It happened in Channelside yesterday. People living in the area even called police, worried about their privacy. Our Christy Post went looking for answers today. What was the operator of that drone really doing, and is it even legal to be doing it? She's live in Channelside right now with more.
Laura, for all those folks in Channelside here wondering what this so-called drone was doing, well, mystery solved. The Florida Aquarium here is using that video for a promotional tool, but the whole ordeal has a lot of people questioning what the laws are surrounding these unmanned aircrafts and if it's even legal. It was this humming sound overhead that caught the attention of Channelside residents late Tuesday afternoon.
It hovered here for about 15-20 minutes, and then it flew out towards that old shipyard area.
No one knew why. That's when Mike Hammonds took out his camera, filming the so-called drone from his condo at the Towers.
First thought was that someone bought a miniature drone and was taking photos of people in their building. And then I thought, well, maybe it's Amazon.
Others called Tampa police.
It was good to see a quick response time, but it also tells me that whatever was going on wasn't necessarily authorized by the police.
Florida Aquarium spokesperson Catherine Clater assures they meant no harm.
We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience that we caused them. That was definitely not our intent. Our intent was simply just to get a new visual image of the aquarium from an aerial view.
And those visuals are for a promotional video to showcase improvements made to their building. To ease security concerns, Clater says the aquarium contacted the Tampa Port Authority next door.
Yeah, so the video is going to come to us from the company that filmed it. We're going to send all of that footage to the port first before we use anything.
What's still up in the air is if the camera caught Hammonds. His biggest concern, whether his privacy was violated.
What all photos were taken, and what kind of privacy is lost now?
Well, the person who controls the air is the the Federal Aviation Administration. And because the technology is so new, the laws are ever changing. But we got this list of the do's and don'ts, whether the person who was manning this unmanned aircraft was doing it legally. Well, the FAA is checking into that, and they'll get back to us, of course. We will update you as soon as we get that answer. For now, we're live in Channelside. Christy Post, The Now, Tampa Bay.
Thank you so much, Christy. I'm joined with digital producer Jared Hill right now. Jared, first of all, if you look out of your window and you see a little unmanned aircraft going by, let's hope you didn't just get out of the shower.
Well, let's hope you didn't just get out of the shower. But one of the interesting things about drones is people have this idea that if they see something flying in the air, it's got to be the military or the government watching them, right? And we want to kind of squash that or kill that myth, if you will. People need to know that drones are often used for things that are not necessarily government surveillance or military strikes or something like that. If you go to Amazon.com right now, you will see on the top of their page they have they have all kinds of drones that will offer you the opportunity to attach a small camera. You can fly over and see some really beautiful things. If you take a look at this video, you can see some really great video that was done where you can see
very cool,
beautiful aerial shots of this is over near the museum over here in Tampa Bay downtown, and they just give you some really, really great shots.
Wow.
So it's not just something that's horrifying and scary. They're actually really, really cool things that can be done with them. So we want to kind of let people know not to be so afraid. They're not as scary as they think they may be. But for sure, if you're coming out of the shower, you don't want to see that shot coming up into your window.
No, you don't at all. And as Chrissy was saying, there are regulations in place and they're still working on it. I mean, this is still something new. People can get a drone for like $200, $300. So exactly. You or I could just be out there just putting them up in the air.
Exactly, yeah.
Jared, thank you so much. We'll see you later on the show. We do appreciate it. All right, now going on with your national headlines, here's my co-host, Ann McNamara.
Nancy Reipel, the American nurse who survived Ebola, breaking her silence today. Reipel telling the media about the day she caught the virus, saying her husband's first instinct was to give her a hug.
David said to me, he said, Nancy, I also need to tell you that you have Ebola. And I got up out of bed, and as I got up out of bed, David came towards me to give me a hug and to put his arms around me. And I knew how dangerous that was. And so I said, no, just no.
Reipel, a missionary for SIM USA, that same charity confirming today the name of a third American missionary who tested positive for Ebola in Liberia. Officials say he's Dr. Rick Sacra from Boston, Massachusetts. The 51-year-old was not working directly with Ebola patients, so it's not clear how he caught the virus or if he'll come back here to the U.S. Israel's grabbing land the size of Central Park in the West Bank, and the Palestinian officials aren't doing anything. It's no surprise. Hamas's approval rating is skyrocketing among Palestinians. The Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research has been polling people since the end of the 50-day war. 61% of Palestinians saying they'd vote for Hamas over the existing president. Just another sign of the militant's growing popularity. Back in June, just for comparison, less than 50% of the population backed Hamas. More disturbing, more than 70% of Palestinians like the idea of an armed approach in the West Bank.
Checking in now with 5 p.m. anchor Jameson Euler. What do you all have on tap for today?
Well, looking at the rundown here, we're going to be talking about one of our Bay Area cities dealing with their homeless problem. They have a unique way they're going to tackle it, and they're doing it one bus ticket at a time. We're going to have a little bit more on that, plus the renaming of the Tampa Bay Times Forum. You guys were talking about that
Big
today.
Deal.
The Amalie Arena, whatever you want to call it. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to find out how to pronounce it tonight at 5 o'clock. And we just said as long as the Stanley Cup fits inside there, we can call it whatever we want.
I like the way you think,
All right.
Jameson. Thank
All
you
right,
so
we'll
much.
see
We
you
do
at 5.
appreciate
All right.
it. All right, now, how about a story about a tall tale for a little kid who made a big catch, and he's doing something really good with that catch. Take a look.
Biggest fish I ever measured in here was probably about 220 pounds.
Edmund Alves was at the Sailfish Marina when the Satter family came in with their catch of the day, but it weighed a lot more than 220 pounds.
693 pounds, 0.8, and the full length was 172 inches.
Hard to believe, but this swordfish weighed almost 700 pounds and was more than 14 feet long. The pictures are lighting up the internet and news, getting a lot of attention from jealous fishermen.
Wow. That's amazing.
Adam Satter was behind the reel when the swordfish bit his line.
Came up twice and all we saw was a big shadow. Thought it might have been a big shark.
But it wasn't a shark, it was this swordfish. And after 4 long hours, they finally caught him.
So to get this huge monster of a fish on board this boat, it took a lot of strength, and one of these, this is called a flying gaff. The family says they just bought it last week, just in case they would catch a big fish like this one.
Well, anytime you're not fishing, it sucks.
Tori Wagon was supposed to go fishing with the Satters that day, but he stayed on shore because, get this, he didn't think the conditions were good for fishing. Today, he's regretting that decision.
I think we're all dreamers, and we all hope that at the end of our line is a record, or even it's a really great fish that you can share all the meat with your friends.
All right, coming up on the Now Tampa Bay at 4:48, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Remember him? Yeah. Bill. He's running for president, if you can believe that. That's coming. I promise you, I can't make these things up. But first at 4:43, it's hard to watch and even harder to hear when kids burst into tears and scream in the store. What do you do as a parent? And who's now saying it's a good thing? You're watching the Now Tampa Bay. We're back in 3. Getting ready for the last few days, weeks of summer in Florida. It feels like it lasts forever, but Jake from the list has a new and improved idea on how to catch some waves.
Yeah, you're really catching waves, and actually you're flying into the air.
This is crazy.
About 20 feet in the air if you take a look at some of the video that we have here. You can see off Madeira Beach, they have these hoverboards that are propelled by jet ski fuel. And it almost looks, there's a famous scene in Back to the Future where they're on hoverboards. It's pretty much like that.
Oh my goodness.
I know, and I didn't try it, I'm not gonna lie. Not because I was scared, but because we had some rain that day.
Right.
But if you take a look at this video, it just hit the public last week. You can now go do it right off Madeira Beach. So tonight on the list, we're gonna talk to some people who did it.
Oh my goodness. We'll see what happens, Jake.
Do you have the adventurous spirit to do so?
It all depends. It all depends. I got to do the now, so I don't know if it would be a smart thing to do.
Cop out.
He's Jake. He'll be on at 7 o'clock on the list.
Yeah, we're all pretty young.
You are.
Get in that Auburn store, man.
I do not like that sound. I'm certain many of you have seen it. Probably all of us. You go to the store, kid just drops down to the ground, starts screaming, crying because they didn't get the cookie or toy of their choice. Well, trending online right now, there is a dad who says he has figured it all out. He's got a quick fix. Instead of just trying to discipline your child right there, he wanted to teach a lesson to his 3-year-old, and that 3-year-old would not forget that lesson. Well, mommy blogger Ashley Miller is with us right now to tell us all about it. I just want to stop that, you know? It's
Yeah, but you have to use it as a teaching tool is what they're finding, is that, you know, your child is going to throw a bunch of tantrums, but in order to educate them and make sure they don't do it again, you've got to teach them, hey, this is what you do right from wrong when you're out in public. If you teach them just at home in their bedroom, they may not relay that information when they're out in public at the grocery store, in the movies, and those kind of places.
So he's saying don't take them out?
Correct. He's saying to take them, you could take them aside in the store,
right
but
there in the
keep
moment.
them there in the moment, the way they get the reaction and understand what's right from wrong.
Does he think this would be something that would happen overnight?
No, definitely not. This is something that you're going to have to do time and time again, and just be patient. Moms and dads out there, you always have to be patient with your little ones.
Mommy blogger Ashley Miller, thank you so much. We do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, coming up on the Now Tampa Bay at 4:54, Samsung, they're giving the iPhone a run for its money. Plus, we've got all of your day's top headlines coming up in just 90 seconds. You're watching the Now Tampa Bay. Stay with us. Here are your headlines in 90 seconds on the Now Tampa Bay. A fisherman found dead. His body, he's Alvin Lee White of Palmetto. He was last seen near Jiggs Landing on Ward Lake. His body was found very close to that area. Deputies tell us the 58-year-old didn't make it back home yesterday. A relative reported him missing soon after. Tonight, students at the University of Central Florida are honoring the American journalist reportedly beheaded by ISIS. Stephen Sotloff was a UCF alum. The vigil will be held at the Reflection Pond at 9 o'clock. Students have been asked to bring American flags, candles, and photos to Sotloff in honor of Sotloff. And the Tampa Bay Times Forum has a new name. Tampa Bay Lightning owner Jeff Finnick just announced the forum will now be called Amalie Arena. Vinnick was joined by Amalie Oil president as well as the CEO for the company for the announcement. Well, that's a bit of a surprise considering the Tampa Bay Times originally had a naming rights agreement through 2018. Two brothers freed from prison after 30 years for a murder they didn't commit. My co-host Ann McNamara has that story and more in your national headlines.
30 years in prison for a crime the judge says they didn't commit. Cheers in the courtroom. New DNA evidence from a cigarette butt found near the girl's body back in 1983 contradicted the original case. The DNA belonged to a man already in prison. Both brothers are mentally handicapped and claim they were coerced into confessing all those years ago. And they've missed a lot while they were locked up. A reporter had to show one of them how to use a seatbelt. They also aren't used to cell phones or the internet. One brother saying he looked forward to doing simple things like taking a bath. Bill Nye for president. That's actually not that bad of an idea. Someone asked the science guy about running for prez during his guest appearance on Star Talk Radio.
Daniel Sprouse wants to know, Bill, why don't you run for office? Bill Nye the Science POTUS has a nice ring to it.
Oh, sure. So Neil deGrasse Tyson and I are working on our cabinet.
Nye's response, just a joke, but it got us thinking, what would it be like to have him in the White House? Nye 2016. Anybody? A new app hooks up wealthy men with hot dates in New York, but wait, haven't men with money always been able to pick up pretty girls? Well, yes, but apparently this is strictly business. The app is called Eve, and the CEO says the models aren't for dating. They're to help men achieve a certain level of swag to close business deals. There are some rules. The models can't hold hands with clients or stay out past 3 a.m. or do manual labor. It's not the first time babes have been used to add ambiance to events. Nightclub promoters and party planners have been doing this for years. The difference now, there's an app for that, and if you're wondering, guys, it comes out in a few months.
She was just talking about men with swag. Here's one right here. I feel like I need to wear suspenders now. Can I do that, or is that like trademark?
You really wouldn't want to. It's not a good look for most folks, including myself most of the time. By the way, what was it? You can't do manual labor or hold hands. Those are the two.
And you can't stay out past 3 a.m.
That sounds like a fairy tale or something. What happens after midnight, right? What happens after midnight for us is some clearing. Up until then, though, we got those storms that'll continue to pop, and we've been looking at these now for the last couple of hours, and they continue to build a little bit across those interior counties. Now, we have no warnings to speak of yet, but when you get this kind of a pattern, eventually what happens is this rain bumps into our west coast sea breeze, the same one that cools us off along the beach in the afternoon. And when that happens, these storms get rather hefty. Now, in terms of where they're headed and timing it out for you, there you go. From anywhere in eastern Polk County right on through Ruskin, just shy of 6:45. So we're extending this out a couple of hours just to help you have a little bit better idea of how to plan your late afternoon, early evening. And there is always the possibility of a water spout or a funnel cloud out of this, including a severe thunderstorm. So we will watch it, as we always do, and give you updates through the afternoon into the evening on ABC Action News. Laura?
All right, thanks, Dennis. In the tech world, most of us on the Now Tampa Bay, we have iPhones.
We are an iPhone family. We are indeed.
Apparently, we need to get something new, though.
Apparently, because Samsung came out with their new phone just 1 week before the iPhone 6 is going to debut, and we're all waiting that patiently. But the iPhone Galaxy Note 4 is here, and it's actually beautiful. I'm not going to say I'm ready to convert yet, but I will say it's definitely got my eyebrows raised. This is the Galaxy Note 4. You can see it has a 5.7-inch screen that is Quad HD, so it is a lot of pixels in there. It's going to be really beautiful.
Wow.
A 16-megapixel camera. These pictures that are going to come from this are going to be spectacular. I'm hoping that Apple can compete with that. And also, they came out with a really cool new phone. This is the Samsung Edge. The edge of the phone actually has more screen on it. With a ruler, you can kind of put it up to
when
something.
I do my geometry.
When you're doing your geometry with your phone, of course. But it's a very cool feature. If your phone is sitting down and you're looking at it from the profile, you can actually see this. You can put different screensavers and things like that in there. It's a very, very cool feature that they've got. Also, this is just kind of like the regular one. It's got like a really cool chrome side that you're gonna really love. I will say, as an Apple person, as a person that is committed to my Apple relationship, this has definitely raised my eyebrows.
Come on.
They've also came out with a really cool thing called the Edge, which is their new phone. That's a Samsung Gear.
Okay.
And they've got some really cool aspects that are coming out with that a little bit later as well. All of this will be available in October. You're going to want to make sure to check that out because they've got some Apple people raising their eyebrows and thinking twice.
Well, it's interesting because it's right after that iPhone, the new release of the iPhone.
It is, right, yes. September 9th, next Tuesday, is when all the iPhones. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do.
You look torn.
I am a little bit torn. I don't want to talk about it too much.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Jared. We appreciate it. We aren't finished yet on the Now Tampa Bay. Coming up, we talk about how dangerous texting and driving is. But once you see a picture I have to show you, I promise you, you'll never do it again. Also, where are you going to retire? Apparently, you don't have to go far. Got that story coming up. The Now Tampa Bay coming back at 2.5. Well, we all know the dangers of texting and driving, but once you see this next story, I can almost guarantee you'll never do it again. My co-host Ann McNamara has that story.
Even blurry, the picture is hard to look at.
Felt it in there. I could feel it in there.
Christina John says she was driving in this parking lot at Elizabeth Middle School and glanced down at her phone for a second to double check a voice text.
I was making sure before I sent it that it looked legit.
When she looked up, her Honda Pilot was crashing into a guardrail.
Still just a blur. I remember the smoke from the airbag.
Well, attention all you couponers out there. September is National Couponing Month. And did you know that Tampa was actually the #9 city for couponing? We've posted a lot of information you need on our Facebook page. You can find us by searching the Now Tampa Bay, just so you can get an idea. If you don't really coupon a lot, you can get an idea of how much you can really save. All right, and with all the money you would save with couponing, you'll have some to put away for retirement, right? Because a new study reports 1/5 of Americans haven't saved a dime for it. But don't worry, Wallet Hub crunched the numbers to find you the most wallet-friendly places across the U.S. to enjoy those golden years. Up first, Tampa is #1, followed by Grand Prairie, Texas, Orlando, St. Petersburg, and then Scottsdale, Arizona.